In this video, we're going to look at 3 separate rounds played between TSM and DarkZero, where initially I wanted to talk about how teams are able to take map control extremely quickly. Because if you'll notice, Merc is able to reach landing at roughly around 2 minutes 20 seconds consistently in each of these clips. However, when I started filming, I realized that there was a more complicated and nuanced interplay happening between DarkZero's defensive strategy and how they're using the K Electric Claw. Not only that, DarkZero was able to consistently get a nitro kill on the player top landing, and I wanted to discuss how they're able to do that as well. So let this clip play out, but if you get a bit of deja vu, that is intentional.
Door plan again. Last time wasn't too successful. Let's see if it is this time though. Differently, or if this is just the best means to attempt to go for this when you really can't get a wall open.
For the rest of the team, seems very, very well prepared for this top red push being started by Merc and Bolo. Keep in mind, they're leaving themselves all of this extra time. Eclipse finding his impact once again as he scurries away back to the basement. Sends Merc flying to the ceiling along the way. Let's look at the first kill of the round with that nitro cell.
And here we go again.
First, let's talk about TSM's overall strategy. Basically, what they're trying to do is get control of the north side very quickly, establish a foothold on landing, and use this position to remove any denial that might exist on the study wall. The plan is then to breach into study to remove players playing inside of vault. And this enables you to go for plants behind maps, vault door, and also, if you wanted to, by the bomb. So my question was, how do they get Merc to here at 2 minutes 20 seconds? From a map view perspective, what they were doing is they were sending Merc in through the closet window and just taking through this pathway. As soon as he's able to set his foot on this landing side, then TSM knows that they have complete control above and on the north end. Really strong, especially if you're hitting this point at 220. That gives you all that time to now push into sight, right? That's super, super strong. So we have Merc situated here because, how does Merc do this, right? That's the question that I initially asked myself. Well, they have Bolo on what I call George window, but it's this trophy entrance door, and he's going to drone through into trophy, but he'll also drone into 90. And having the IQ here, which is what Bolo plays, is really strong because that's a way to at least prevent, or at least have some intel on if there's any nitros in this vicinity to punish the Ash who's taking in so quickly. The thing is, I noticed that Bolo missed a Valcam here, so I kind of question the thoroughness of the IQ in terms of getting rid of those electronics. And even then, if Bolo's responsibility is to drone into trophy for Merc to take so quickly, he's probably not on a scanner. What else do they do? So they have Chala on Astro window, and he's the cutoff. This guy is responsible for droning all of Astro, but also when Merc enters in through closet, they realize there's someone playing inside of Astro. Now we have a pinch, right? We have Astro window pressure, and then also B2 pressure. And not only that, but hey, Bolo still is playing on this window. So if he needs to, he can jump into trophy and pinch yet again. Let's clear some of the map view. So we have Chala, Bolo on George window. These guys are droning in through here and through here. Then we also had Achieved, who was on this balcony. And Achieved's job, I believe, was to actually drone Merc all the way through. There was also Geo, that's our last player, who was also on the balcony, and his job was to drone through bathroom and then eventually into Astro. So you can see through this pathing that almost everything is clear. I'm pretty sure Achieve's going to do a thorough job in all the way through statue. And really the only gray spot is maybe split, but I would guess that the player in Astro Repel can clear that too with their drone in Astro. And it's not like there's this rat corner and this rat corner that a player could potentially hide in, but they're probably going to clear that. So that's how they're able to clear so quickly. It's because there's 4 men joining one guy in, and this one guy is taking everything as they're droning. How do you punish this then? Well, and so one common counter to teams that do take north side over down south and do it very quickly is just to put defenders and utility on the north side. So you'll see defenders playing inside a trophy and Astro. They'll normally be rotate here too. Um, and basically their job is just to shoot drones and to waste time, right? Typically, Mozzie or Mute would also be used. You might even have Denial on these walls, just because you're committing to the idea that they're going to push for the north side. Instead, what DarkZero decided to do is they played Nitros. Or the only difference that I would have made personally, and I'm sure there's a reason why they played Valkyrie the way they played, is I might have actually subbed Valkyrie for Pulse just to get reliable C4s. But I would have also been more aggressive about killing Merc early. I mean, at 220, that's a lot of pressure to have a player already in landing. But instead, what DarkZero decided to do is they decided to use that sound cue of him trying to remove the Electroclaw from basically map store. And I just think, if you can play a 4v5 for the entirety of the round, why not? So I'm going to show the Electroclaw that was giving TSM so much trouble. First, there's a pretty cool Electroclaw right here. When you throw it on the ground here, the sphere of influence that the Electroclaw has is just big enough to hit this wall and also this wall. Although hitting 3 walls with an Electroclaw isn't really a super advanced technique. I think the biggest thing here is, of course, I only have 2 reinforcements as I'm alone right now. But if this wall is in the middle between these 2 walls that are electrified, then this wall will be electrified. The other thing, though, the wall that gave TSM so much trouble, is DarkZero was opening up this cubby here, which I was able to do with my TSG, and then tossing the Electroclaw inside that cubby. So actually, let's see. Can I make this any neater? There we go. That's really tucked in there, and we can see that the influence of that sphere would be enough to hit this wall. I'm gonna grab this Electroclaw real quick and just show that they also mixed it up at least once, but they were throwing Electroclaw right here. So I think that's a really important aspect, is they weren't reusing the same Electroclaw, even though this Electroclaw is super effective. They weren't reusing the same Electroclaw, and so what we saw from Ash is she was burning from this door, and because IQ can see the Electroclaw but can't actually remove it, they needed to use a breaching round to hit the back of that desk, and then also at one point they were hitting the floor, and the reason being the Electroclaw was in this corner. So a really cool use of Electroclaws from DarkZero.
The HUD wasn't too...